This is the story of Adama, the proud girl. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and please leave a comment. I would love to hear what you think about the story. Let's get right to it. Once upon a time, in the prosperous village of Tadem, there was a wealthy merchant and his wife, known far and wide for their immense wealth. But despite their wealth, their true pride and joy was not their money or their possessions, no, but their only daughter, Adama. Adama was beautiful. She was so beautiful that men from far and wide lined up at her parents' doorsteps, ready to fulfill all her wishes. The villagers showered her with love, admiration, and affection, so much that her heart became swollen with pride. Adama became proud, haughty, and selfish. She always wanted things done her way, and she made everyone dance to her tune. Her father warned her many times, but she did not listen. She grew rebellious, boasting about the attention and gifts she received from her admirers. She turned down every suitor that came her way and declared that no man was worthy unless he was richer than her father. "I must marry a king," she said. "I am too beautiful to settle for anything less. A queen I will be, or nothing at all." These statements troubled her parents greatly, but Adama would not be swayed. One fateful day, a messenger arrived from a neighboring kingdom. The king of that kingdom had sent words that he wanted Adama to marry his only son, the crown prince. Along with this messenger, the king sent gifts of gold, jewelries, livestock, fine clothes. Much more than this king also invited Adama and her parents to visit him and the prince in the palace. Adama was overjoyed. Finally, she thought, she was going to be a princess and eventually a queen, like she has always wanted. Her parents warned her not to be swept away by the gifts and advised her to let them properly investigate this king and his family. But Adama refused. "I have made up my mind," she declared. "I will marry this prince, and no one can change my mind," she insisted. So, left with no other choice, her parents agreed to visit the palace with Adama. On the appointed day, they traveled with Adama to the neighboring kingdom, bearing many gifts for this king. But unfortunately, when they arrived, they did not receive the grand royal welcome Adama had expected. The kingdom was in mourning. The queen, the king's wife, had passed away the night before their visit after a long illness. So the kingdom was grieving. Adama, however, was not happy with this. How can they treat me like this? Where is my royal welcome? Am I not to be their future queen? Her parents cautioned her. Respect their grief. Not everything is about you, Adama. They warned her. Although the kingdom was grieving, the king offered them the best rooms in the palace to rest for the night. And the very next morning, the prince offered to give Adama a tour of the palace. He took her around the entire palace, but there was one section he did not take her to. Adama noticed this and asked him, "Why are you not taking me to that part of the palace?" The prince sighed and explained, "That was my mother's quarters. Out of respect for her memory, we do not enter those rooms while we mourn a person," he explained. This did not sit well with Adama. She could not understand why she, the future queen, should be denied access to the grandest part of the palace. That night, she was unable to sleep. She kept tossing and turning. She was consumed by the desire to see the queen's chambers. The very next day, the king held a grand reception for Adama and her parents, trying to make up for the lack of royal welcome that they received. So the king told Adama, "Ask me for anything you want, and I will grant it, as you are to be my daughter-in-law." To everyone's shock, Adama stood up and selfishly said, "I want to see the late queen's chambers. They are the grandest rooms in this palace. I must explore them if I am to be the future queen." Her parents were horrified at this request. Immediately, they reprimanded her and then they apologized to the king. The king shook his head sadly. "I cannot grant this request," he said. "My wife died from a strange illness, and until her rooms can be cleansed, it is not safe for anyone to enter those rooms," he explained. Adama, however, was not happy even with this explanation. She was enraged. So, that very day, at noon, while everyone gathered at the queen's burial, Adama sneaked away and entered the queen's quarters. Inside, she marveled at the wealth and splendor. She opened the queen's safe. She tried on the queen's finest jewelries and clothes. She placed the queen's crown on her head and she lay on the queen's royal bed. "All of this will be mine very soon," she thought. Adama spent enough time going through the late queen's possessions, and then she tried to sneak out of the room back to the burial grounds. But as she was about to leave, a guard saw her. He screamed in fright and ordered her to stay where she was. Adama, feeling insulted, tried to leave, but the guard shoved her back into the room with his spear. She screamed in anger, and her cry attracted the attention of others on the palace ground. Soon, the king came and was highly disappointed. Immediately, he sent for Adama's parents and he explained to them that the queen had died from a terrible disease that was believed to be contagious. And that was why no one was allowed to enter her quarters until the rooms were cleansed. But now that Adama had broken the rules, she could no longer be allowed among the people of the village for fear she had contacted the infection and could spread it. Her parents wept and they begged the king to allow them to take their daughter home. Adama was carefully escorted to the outskirts of the kingdom. Unfortunately for her, news of her disobedience spread quickly to the village of Tadem, and the villagers refused to let her return. They feared she had contracted a strange illness. So, her parents built her a small hut at the edge of the village, and there she lived alone. In the days that followed, boils appeared on Adama's body and she suffered in agony. People avoided her, and only her parents left food outside her hut. And so it was that the most beautiful lady in Tadem became the most dreaded and neglected one. Adama, once admired, was now scorned and despised. Fortunately, the illness did not claim her life, and after many moons, she recovered. But the scars remained, and her pride was broken. From that day, Adama lived humbly, and she spent the rest of her days advising others to learn from her mistake, to shun pride and greed, and to respect the wisdom of their elders. And so, her story lived on, passed down from one generation to generation, as a reminder that pride goes before a fall, and those who do not listen to wise counsel will learn the hard way. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Bye for now.